first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to my parents and wanting to sue my cousin for a prank? I, 31 male, recently had my cousin 21 male move in with me after he got kicked off his college dorm and had no job to pay for rent. My parents told me I needed to step up and help because I want a house, live alone with my 2 golden retrievers and 2 birds that I had since last year. My cousin would make fun of me whenever I call my pet's family and thinks I'm crazy. He has a bad sense of humor and thinks it's funny. He calls me funny nicknames like Robot, /Terminator, /Optimus Prime, and others, because I wear a prosthetic leg that I've gotten after I had an infection 2 years ago. I've been patient with him causing a mess, and not even doing his own laundry. It's been 3 months and it's too much already. So recently, he started doing pranks and using personal things in his pranks, like clothes, /my phone, /stuff from the kitchen, etc. I usually take off my prosthesis before going to bed, and since I work all day, I go to bed early, unlike him. He stays up till 3 to 4 a.m. He decided to do a prank and hid my prosthesis somewhere. I saw that it was gone in the morning. He did it twice before, and hid it in his room and the garage. I had enough of his nonsense. I asked him where he took it, and he joked and said that it was inside a fridge. I was livid. I started screaming at him to stop it, and to tell me where my prosthesis was before I kick him out. He realized I was being serious and told me that it was in the attic. I let him go get it, and when he brought it to me, he looked worried and started apologizing when I saw the sockets had cracks. The adjustment pyramid and pylon were damaged. He told me he hid it under the old TV and didn't think it was this fragile. It was there overnight, so the damage has already been done. I lost my crap. I yelled at him, while all he did was apologize, saying, "It was just a prank, bro," which made it worse. I told him to leave and called my aunt to tell her about what her son did, and that she needed to pay for the damages. Her reaction was shocking. She said that it was my fault because I knew how her son is, and decided to take him in anyway, and that she won't take responsibility for his actions. I told her I'd seriously sue because I'm broke and have no money to pay for a prosthesis, and crutches are unbearable. I was so angry. I kept lashing out at everyone, especially my mom and dad, who argued with me and said that I can't sue family, and this is my cousin and he meant no harm. I told them that he created the situation and needed to fix it. They called me awful for refusing to wait till Christmas is over and family gathering is over, then they'll figure something out. I told them to stay out of it, but until now, they're telling me to not cause an issue. We're in the holidays and suing my cousin will make them look bad to everyone. I'm stuck here with crutches feeling awful after they all tried to shut me up and told me to wait till holidays are over, then they'll raise money for me, and my cousin gets away with it. Edit. My dad offered to fix it himself, but this is ridiculous. He thinks that this is some object like a CD player or a TV he can fix. I called him ridiculous to his face, and I didn't let him touch it. He clearly thinks it's no big deal. I stopped taking his calls after that because he doesn't realize how big of an issue this is. Now for the top comments of this post. Not the a-hole. Dude, you've got to have your leg for God's sake. He/your family need to replace it immediately. Expecting you to use crutches till after the holidays to save Christmas or whatever is abusive nonsense. There wouldn't be trouble to start with, had your grown cousin not ruined your prosthesis with a terribly stupid and immature prank. My parents only care about what outsiders think about them, and never solve an issue or deal with a problem, and expect me to just take it because we shouldn't be treating family like this. In other words, they have no respect for boundaries. If they only care what outsiders think, start a GoFundMe explaining exactly what happened, and that your family won't step up to rectify what is effectively their collective mess-up. Totally agree. Start a GoFundMe page and spell out exactly what happened and that your family's not making things right. I would include your cousin's name and everyone else. Then post it in your Facebook page with a link to your GoFundMe page and why it exists. If all your family cares about is how they are perceived in public, let them the negative attention for what happened. If they cry foul, tell them you gave them a chance to make things right and they didn't. A GoFundMe account may have a twofold purpose of helping you with your prosthesis and publicly humiliating your family. Now you know why your cousin is so effed up. His parents never held him accountable for his actions. I would kick him out of your house immediately. I am wondering if there is potential for some type of criminal charges. Definitely consult an attorney. Not the a-hole, but your cousin and family are big time. Added to add that you should call every member of your family, except Anne's family, and let them know how sorry you are that you will not be able to see them over the holidays. And let them know that Cousin X thought it would be funny to hide your prosthesis and damaged it to the point where you can't wear it, and Cousin Eddie's parents won't agree to make good of what he did. Let them know that you will be putting up a GoFundMe page to try to get a new prosthesis and would appreciate any help that they could provide as you have no means to deal with it all on your own. Not an a-hole. Your family is enabling your cousin to be an a-hole. He's 21, past time to get a job and start being responsible for himself. His parents can take him back in if they want, but you are certainly not obligated to. I don't care what he's going to do. I'm not taking him back. I've been too nice, and he caused me an issue that was preventable and now refusing to take responsibility, and the family is backing him up and making excuses for him. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister her oldest stepkids are not welcome at parties / in my home again? My older sister Jess has been married for the last decade to her husband, Michael. Michael was a widower with 5 kids when they met. The kids are now Kyle, 17, Ella, 16, Josie, 13, Emma and Chase, 12 in the new year. Jess and Michael also have 2 kids together who are 5 and 2. To make a long story very short, Kyle and Ella have never accepted my sister Jess in their lives. And I will say here now, they despise my sister for marrying their dad. They despise her for being their younger sibling's mom, and they despise her for having more children with her dad. They have never stopped despising her. Over the last 10 years, my sister has talked to me so many times about how much she has struggled to find a bond with Kyle and Ella. She has tried. I will never say she hasn't, but they don't want anything to do with her. They have acted out so many times. They have been in therapy, but they don't want it. And it feels like they're always being grounded for treating my sister horribly and ignoring the youngest too. I remembered our brother's wedding 2 years ago. Kyle had an outburst in front of everyone. That my sister was nothing, and she needed to screw off and leave him and his siblings alone, because they would never really love her, and she would never be as good as her mom was. Michael tried to get him out of there, but Kyle was mad. The venom in his words was mind-blowing, and honestly, it was then I truly believed he truly hated my sister. Before that, I had bought what everyone said, that he and Ella just needed time to come to terms. But I truly believe he hates her. This brings me on to why I'm writing this. Back in early February, my oldest turned 3, and we had a small party at home with some family and close friends. Kyle and Ella treated us terribly, and while it's not exactly a shock that they don't like us, Ella told my 3-year-old that they weren't cousins, and to screw off and leave her and her brother alone. Then, she and Kyle made a big deal out of being included in a photo of all the cousins, which led to them both making my brother's son, 6, and their sister, 5, cry, because none of us are their family, and we can all screw off and leave them the hell alone. They also said something about my sister that blew us all away. Jess and Michael left with the kids, and afterward, I thought about it, and I decided that enough was enough, and I needed to protect my kids. So I told Jess that Kyle and Ella are not welcome in my home and they will not be invited to further parties. Jess thinks I'm behaving unfairly because they are family, and how will they ever come around if they are excluded? I think she's a little crazy to think they will come around. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Just because she's okay with how her stepkids treat her, doesn't mean anybody else should have to deal with it. They clearly don't want to be there, so she can't force them, and can't force anyone to accept them. I wonder if their lashing out like this is to get banned. It sounds like Dad remarried about a year after Mom died, which is absolutely horrible of him. I'm surprised no one else has pointed this out, since this makes me feel so bad for them. It's understandable that they don't want anything to do with OP's sister and her family when, to them, it probably feels like Dad replaced Mom as quickly as possible. Ban them. They will probably appreciate it. Not the a-hole. The sooner Kyle and Ella find out their actions have consequences, the better. Maybe let them come one more time, and say to their faces why they aren't welcome in your home any longer. In front of everybody too, since that's how they roll. Oh, I don't believe they will care. They hate us too much to care about being excluded. It's what they want. Info. What exactly is the timeline here? And how did your sister and her husband meet? Based off what you've said, they've been married for 10 years. Presumably, Dad didn't jump right back into the dating pool for a bit after his first wife died. And since the absolute longest she could be dead is just under 12 years, That leaves 2 years for him to grieve, meet your sister, and get married again, all with a newborn baby. That's pretty damn fast. The oldest 2 children would have been 6 and 7 when they got married, and were probably 4 and 5 when their mother died. They probably don't even have solid memories of her. And in my experience, unless there's something else going on, children that young don't get that violently angry at their step-parents and hang on to a grudge for a decade. This all just doesn't add up. He met and married my sister within a few short months of his first wife's death. Now for the last story. Would I be the a-hole for keeping something I bought as a gift? I, 25 female, will try to make this as short and sweet as possible. Also, sorry for any formatting errors. I'm on mobile, and I'm in the middle of working a double on no sleep, but this has been bothering me for about 3 days now. At the onset of the pandemic, my husband, 26 male, and I wound up unemployed and had to move in with my parents. My dad, 50-ish, and my stepmom, 40-ish, are the most wonderful humans in the world. My stepmom's mother, who I'll refer to as M from here on, late 70-ish, not so much. We moved in at the end of October, after our lease expired at our previous residence, and a couple of days after moving in, M asked my husband and I if we had any Christmas wishes, and was adamant that price was no object. She's made it very clear the past 17 years that she didn't want her daughter marrying my father, and that the added baggage of my sister and I made it even less ideal. But I assumed, because she asked me, that maybe she wanted to bury the hatchet, so I was honest. I mentioned wanting a new sewing machine. I showed her the one I wanted, which is about $200. I didn't think much of the exchange until last Friday, December 18. M was leaving to go see a family a few states over for the holidays, so she called the family to come over so she could hand out gifts. I was just getting home from work, so my cousins, aunts, and uncles had already begun opening their gifts. 3 of my cousins and 1 of my aunts got the exact sewing machine I had shown M. All the other kids got stuff like video games, hoodies, sneakers, and gift cards to different places. I admittedly got a little excited. I went last. M handed me my gift. I opened it, and it was a sewing machine box, filled with new towels. She said, "I know you guys having money troubles. Thought that might be helpful." I waited until everyone left, but was genuinely upset because I know that she knows we have towels, washcloths, etc. because we brought them with us from our old place, and we have our own designated cupboard for those things in our bathroom. When I got my new job, I took my first and second paycheck and started buying gifts for everyone. I spent nearly $150 to order a giant hand-woven, dyed, and beaded tapestry from a local indigenous bead artist for M. I wanted her to get something I knew she would love and cherish, because I thought maybe we were getting past the previous 17 years of hostility. She and I are both close to 50% indigenous, and it's a big part of her lifestyle and aesthetic, as it is mine. I genuinely don't know at this point if she was trying to be malicious, but I feel she was, having me open it in front of everyone, and I felt absolutely humiliated. My stepmom and dad agree with me and say I should keep it, as does my husband. But when I ask a few family friends, they said they think it sounds like I'm mad that I didn't get an expensive gift. I feel it's blatant favoritism. Would I be the a-hole if I kept the tapestry for myself? Edit for clarity. Because of work, I wasn't able to go pick up M's gift in time for the impromptu gift exchange, which is why she hasn't gotten it yet. Not the a-hole, but gift her the box it came in and fill it with toilet paper. Always useful in a pandemic environment. Haha, this is genius. You know, because shops run out and times are hard. OP, you are definitely not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Personally, I'd talk up where you found this beautiful indigenous gift you found for her. How exceptional it is. How you think it would really bring you two closer. Then, when she unwraps it, it's just the damn towels she gave you. Then again, I am a vindictive a-hole when I want to be. The other option is to give it to her. Talk up how you know she couldn't afford to get you a sewing machine too, considering she spent so much money already on your cousins. You wouldn't have wanted to burden her anyway. Clearly, it would be way too expensive for her to afford another. But here, I got this for you. It cost a pretty penny, but I think you'll really love it. Ooh, I like this. Regift the towels back to M. Sorry, M. Money's so tight this year, and I thought since you thought these towels were such a good gift, you could also use them yourself. Update. I called my stepmom on my 15-minute break and told her that I would not be giving her the gift and that I would be getting her something else. I don't know what yet, but I'm sure I can come up with a terrible generic gift between now and New Year's. Thank you all so much for your honesty and candor. Why give her anything at all? I wouldn't. Here's my reasoning. She did this to upset you. Giving her an intentionally horrible gift not only plays into her game, and this is a game to her, but also shows that her attempt to upset you worked. I'd forgo a gift entirely and send her a thank you card for her gift. Include in it that I would have loved to have returned the kindness, but as you know, the pandemic has been hard on us. So I just wanted to let you know how much it meant to me that you gave us something so useful. It is exactly what we needed. That way, she can't make you out to be the bad guy because she was the one who initiated the pandemic has been hard on you talk, and because you expressed gratitude for her gift. And if you make it seem like you felt the gift was thoughtful and needed, she will not have the satisfaction of feeling like she got you. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.